Coming to you from the Daily Cal office, I'm Winston and today we have Hooman Yazdanian, Daily Cal's sports editor, award-winning journalist, and the football beat writer next fall. And we're going to be talking about Ivan today.
Ivan Rabb.
Ivan Rabb. So the big news with Ivan is that he chose not to declare for the 2016 draft. It was a shallow draft, and people are projecting the 2017 draft to be a lot
incredibly
deeper.
deep.
Yeah, incredibly
Full of,
deep.
it's a crazy freshman class coming in. It's like, if he went in last year's draft, Rabb could have risen up the boards an insane amount, because he started out like people were thinking he might go just outside the top 10, but when you look at how the draft actually played out, it wouldn't have been shocking to see him go 8 even, because there was a clear top 7 tier that was Ben Simmons through Jamal Murray, and then after that, it was just kind of thrown together. So you could see Rabb going to the Suns at 8. He could have gone to the Raptors.
No one saw Ivan going 3. I mean, there was that tier.
Jalen.
Yeah, no one saw Jalen going 3. There was that tier with Ben and Brandon at 1 and 2. They could go either way, but then it was no one saw Jalen going 3. Who's to say that Ivan couldn't have landed in the top 5? And along that line, Jalen was definitely the most talented player on Cal last year. But would it be fair to say that Ivan was probably the most impactful?
I think he was the most polished player already as a freshman. His shot looked better than Jalen's, which is might say more about Jalen than it does about Rabb. But he was out there, he was good on defense. The best lineups were unlocked when he was put at the 5.
And if you plug Ivan at the 5, I mean, you can make a 15, 16-foot shot.
Yeah, and that's even just starting now. He's this young already, and he's already able to put out just a solid mid-ranger. He could probably extend his range out even more. For Rabb's position, I think he could. Again, he really needs to work on his shooting if he can be a full-time starting power forward on a great team.
Really needs to work on his shooting.
Because he's got that mid-range shot, but that used to be enough for to be good to make it as a power forward. But for most teams, that's it's
They're
rough
looking
to
for
make it as just
now.
a mid-range jump shooter. There are teams. There's teams like the Spurs who play 2 bigs. And as a power forward, you don't have to be a great shooter when you have other skills. And Rabb has so many other skills that if he becomes even a slightly below average shooter from the 3-point line, that's enough for him to make it as a power forward. I mean, the best lineups will probably be unlocked by Rabb playing center even in the future, because he's 6'11". He's not necessarily fast enough, or quick enough to switch well onto guards in the pick and roll. That's not really his strength yet. That's not Cal usually just plays a drop down scheme with him anyways. So in the next level, a big deal for power forwards isn't just that they be able to shoot. So
no, I agree that Ivan's best future involves him playing the majority of his time at the 5, because I mean his best skill on defense is that he can protect the rim, and if you can protect the rim as well as I think Ivan will be able to. He's best suited for the 5.
He didn't get that many blocks. It was barely over a block per game last year, but he was always he figured out the positioning thing well enough to.
It was uncanny how. No, go on.
No, I was gonna say the same thing you were probably, just how he was always there at the right.
That's exactly what I was about to say. He was always there at the right time. And everyone was saying that Ivan was gonna come out in the 16 draft, and he's staying this year. But do you think that he's gonna stay past the 17 draft? Do you think he's gonna play at Cal for another 2 years?
I mean, just the fact that he stayed now was shocking for me. So if he stayed again, I would be first
it would
off,
be less of a shock.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he should stay, because I guess arguably you could say maybe he stays and then the 2018 draft is worse. But I think at that point there's a diminishing returns between the draft is worse, but Rabb's stock is worse, because at that point he's he'd be leaving as a junior. And you almost never see juniors getting drafted highly in the draft anymore.
We thought Ivan was going to go so-and-so in the draft. So where do you think Ivan's going to go?
I think Ivan goes in the second half of the top 10.
Second half of the top 10.
I think the top 5 might actually literally end up being all freshmen, because it's a pretty crazy class.
Yeah.
Giles, all those guys.
Giles.
Tatum, Josh Jackson, people like that. But I do think he'll rise above some of the international prospects that are ranked ahead of him, and they'll probably, but some of them probably won't even come over. And like, you have to take into account that people will probably, some of them might stay, like Ivan did, maybe. I mean, I know it's super rare. But I think he goes somewhere in that 6 through 10 range, and I think he's the second big off the board after John.
I agree that he probably should go in the second half of the top 10. Alright, we'll catch you next time on Press Room Banter.